Full disclosure, there's going to be some sensitive information in this video to certain viewers, so just be cautious if you're going into this with any kind of background. I also want to say that if some of these things in this video are proven wrong, I'm not trying to throw dirt on anybody or anybody's name, but there's a lot of evidence pointing to this that I just have to talk about as a creator. I don't share my opinion a lot, but this is pretty dark. This is very dear to me as a parent, as a father with 2 girls. I think the NFT space is going the wrong direction with this, and there's a lot of reasons for this that I'm going to go into a bit. But I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off and say the darkest one right off the bat. Now, when you watch the rest of this video, it's like I'm working up towards the darkest parts, but I just decided to give this disclosure at the beginning and just go ahead and be right up front with why this is wrong. I'm going to try to make this as short as possible, but overall, there is a new project that dropped 2 days ago called Art Gobblers. Art Gobblers is factored by Justin Roiland, one of the co-founders of Rick and Morty. He overall has a very questionable past with pedophilic images, art, and cartoons, and some resurfaced recently that were honestly just sickening to watch. I'm not going to play them in this video, but I want to talk about why this is bad for the NFT space. Ultimately, this collection, I can't even show all of it on stream because it is sexualized. It does show body parts, it shows images, and it shows all of that, but it gets a lot worse. There's one thing to show this as a portrayal of art. There's another thing to be building this up with a pedophilic background, buying these naked images, and some of these things could be pertaining to kids. There's been debates over Twitter, and I don't want to throw shades over any influencer, but there's basically backgrounds of some of these characters that are portrayed as 13-year-olds or even younger, and with the background that Justin Roiland has had, which I just recently saw some of it today, and again, I'm not going to play the video, but this certainly seems like Justin Roiland's voice. This is the Mr. Bean character he plays, and some of it's trying to play right there. This is dark, guys. Like, if you want to go look this up, I'm not going to hyperlink it in anything. You can try to pause the screen and go to this account to find this. But essentially, it's pedophilic. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. This isn't dark humor. This is sick. And he, in this cartoon, he essentially kidnaps kids. It shows a lot of that. It gets darker. And in this series, even darker things happen. Okay, so you're wondering, like, okay, well, you know, why does that matter for, you know, this project? How does that correlate with the NFT space? Okay, so the NFT spaces already have a terrible rep of scams and, you know, things like that going on, yet we are overhyping this project backed by this guy. Not to mention the fundamentals don't make sense to me, and now there's smarter people making better trades off of this. I'm not saying any of this to, like, flood somebody's bags. I'm saying this as somebody who is offended, you know, quite frankly, by the background and by the support of this space. Like, that's the last thing I want for the NFT space to come off to the general public. It's like, okay, well, they're not scammers, but they're supporting pedos, or at least potential pedos, of some of this stuff. There's got to be a line drawn somewhere. And at the end of the day, not only is his background in this, you're buying images potentially portraying this, like, for $25,000, $30,000, like, that's not okay. Guys, what are we doing? This space is so tremendously small and full of scams and just disastrous to the public eye, and we do stupid things over and over again, like what's happening right now. This video is obviously a lot different than my other content. There's a little bit of passion, a little bit of opinion. Usually I'm just facts, fun, try to throw comedy in there, but there is a layer of things going on right now that aren't okay. Some are debatable, some are absolutely not debatable in my opinion. In this video, we're going to talk about them. Look at this. I can't even show most of this on YouTube because it will probably censor my content or shadow ban it. So as you can tell, my camera's a little bit bigger. These are Art Gobblers. Everything about this project has been a joke. They pushed their influence to some of the biggest influencers in the space, which in hindsight wasn't a bad move from a business standpoint. You take some of the biggest influencers, you give them free stuff, and then you're able to get a ton of publicity. That's exactly what happened. These influencers were able to make upwards $15,000-$20,000 right after mint, after having millions and millions of dollars in volume almost directly after sellout. But there is a multitude of problems with everything about this besides what I just named. While that's not completely new, it's like Art Gobblers did it magnified compared to a lot of other places in the space. The first thing is, the floor price is 16.5 ETH right now. It was 20 ETH this morning, so let's say between $25,000 and $30,000. A lot of people that are buying this don't even know why they are buying this. So what I mean by this, and yes, I understand the utility behind Art Gobblers. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the things that people are not talking about. I'm at the contract right now. Just go to Etherscan, go to read contract. If you type in max total supply, you'll know that there's 10,000 total units. Right now on the open marketplace, we only have 1.9 thousand items. That means there's still 80% of the supply to be released. On top of that, if a lot of people are buying this GOO token, so GOO is what the Art Gobblers produce essentially, and this morning people were selling it. I saw upwards of 2 ETH where there wasn't a lot of buyers. There was still people buying and selling and trading this GOO. The thing is, I mean, unless you're trying to do volume trades, is this GOO is extremely inflationary. It's also very complex. I'm not going to break it down in this video. I don't even understand all the mechanics, just to be quite honest with you guys, as it is a little bit intense. But essentially, the longer gobblers exist, the more inflationary it will get, to the point to where there'll be millions and millions of GOO. And right now, would I rather have GOO or would I rather have Ethereum? Like, this has got to be a joke. I mean, like, honestly, at the end of the day, like, this makes no sense. It's just something I wouldn't recommend supporting. If you've heard some of the spaces, some of the talks, and if you watch those videos and you don't see anything wrong with it, I just don't understand. I'm a father of 2 girls. I don't usually give strong opinions about anything in this space because ultimately, at the end of the day, I don't care about a lot. But there's lines that I'm going to draw. And if you go watch some of these videos, the lines are drawn. So ultimately, I think this is absolute trash for the space. I think it's overhyped. I think a lot of people are making a lot of money off this. A lot of people are losing a lot of money off this. It does have a roadmap. It does have a future. It's not something I'm going to be a part of. And it's something that I'm going to be honest with, because at the end of the day, I think this is good for the space. Let me know your thoughts down below. See you guys next time.